Warm welcome viewers, you're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. Our top focus remains Sri Lanka, but a lot of politics speaking in the state of Karnataka, especially where the Congress unity is concerned. The latest coming in, it's a D K Shivakumar versus Siddaramaiah war, which has now reached fever pitch days before Siddaramaiah's birthday celebrations. Siddaramaiah supporters gearing up to celebrate his 75th birthday. Supporters have called it Siddaramaiah, a Siddaramaiah. Now, D K Shivakumar, who is hoping to be named the chief ministerial face as Congress will now go into election mode for Karnataka, has come out with a jibe at his own party colleague Siddaramaiah. He says, I don't want any Utsav, I want Congress and the country's Utsava. I want the party to win and come to power. That is what my aim is. A lot which has been going down behind the scenes in the Congress unit of Karnataka right now, bubbling to the fore. There's been discontent from both sides. It seems there's been a clear divide in terms of camps. One is the D K Shivakumar camp, the other one Siddaramaiah camp. Both of them gunning to be the CM face as Karnataka goes into elections next year, and Siddaramaiah's birthday celebrations proving to be that pivotal point of this inside war reigniting. Listen in to D K Shivakumar.
ಜನ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಭಿಮಾನಿಗಳು ನಾವು ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಪಾಪ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಯಿತು ನನ್ನಿಂದ. ನಾನು ಇದರ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾನೇ ಕೇದಾರ್ನಾಥ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ. ಕೇದಾರ್ನಾಥ್ ಬದ್ರಿನಾಥ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಕುಟುಂಬದವರು ಹೋಗಿ ನಾನು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇದು ಅವರವರ ಅಭಿಮಾನಿಗಳ ವಿಚಾರ. ನಾನು ಅಧಿಕಾರ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡ ದಿನ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನನ್ನ ಪೂಜೆ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ, ಪಕ್ಷದ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಅದೇ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಯ್ತೀನಿ.
Because why is this statement interesting? Because the Congress unit of Karnataka is gearing up to celebrate Siddaramaiah's birthday as Siddaramaiah Utsav, his 75th birthday. D K Shivakumar, who's part of the Congress, who's hoping this time around that it will not be Siddaramaiah but him who's going to be given the mantle of at least fighting the election as the CM face of the Congress, making it very clear, saying, I don't want any Utsav. I don't believe in any Utsav, especially where birthday celebrations are concerned. I want the Congress to win Karnataka elections and the country to do well. I want to cut across to my colleague Nabila, who's joining us with the latest details trickling in from Karnataka Congress unit. Nabila, internal war which has been simmering for months now, counting down to the elections next year in Karnataka, bubbling to the fore, the pivotal point being Siddaramaiah's birthday celebration.
Right, you know, Preeti, at this point, from what we see is that the Congress is trying to project a chief ministerial candidate, and there are two options. One is, of course, Siddaramaiah, who's already been the chief minister for during the Congress regime in Karnataka, and the other, D K Shivakumar. D K Shivakumar, young, a man who's on ground, he's seen as a grassroots worker. Siddaramaiah, on the contrary, a man known to have mass appeal. So both candidates are very strong, and it's very difficult at this point for the Congress to pick a face, and it seems like they're going to be approaching elections 11 months away without really announcing a chief ministerial face. But in the meanwhile, we're seeing D K Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah taking jibe after jibe at one another. In the latest with D K Shivakumar saying that if I had to celebrate my birthday celebrations, I wouldn't do it in such a pompous fashion. I would go to a temple, I would worship to the Lord and do it in a subdued way. My focus is to, of course, help the party grow and not to celebrate a birthday or a person or an individual. This is more or less what D K has said in a direct jibe at Siddaramaiah, just days after both of them met for breakfast, put all those speculations of animosity to rest, and it seems like this reaction or a fresh jibe has once again exposed fissures within the Karnataka Congress ahead of polls.
Okay, very quickly, Nabila, before I let you go, is there now a clear division of camps? Is what, say, is happening in Rajasthan? There's a Gehlot camp, there's a Sachin Pilot camp. Are we witnessing that in Karnataka? Are we going to see right before elections, like in Rajasthan, two clear divisions of camps where Congress is concerned, the D K Shivakumar camp and the Siddaramaiah camp?
most definitely, Preeti, whether they want to admit it or not, there is the Siddaramaiah camp and there is the D K Shivakumar camp. And it's very difficult for the Congress High Command also to prioritize one over the other, because on both ends, they're both very strong workers with a huge cadre support and, of course, a mass support for that matter. So it's going to be quite hard for the Congress party to try and focus on one person, while this will be great fodder and ground for the BJP to try and crack into and appease that, that section, which right now is frustrated with the fact that the Congress is not settling their house, keeping their house in order. With this kind of fight, it only sees BJP to an advantage at this point.
BJP advantage. Thank you, Nabila, for joining us, because what's playing out, viewers, in the state of Rajasthan, you have pitched battles being fought within the Congress where Sachin Pilot, Ashok Gehlot is concerned. Now, in Karnataka, a similar play between Siddaramaiah and D K Shivakumar. The Congress is going to be in a catch-22. Who will they announce as the chief ministerial face for Karnataka? Siddaramaiah says is basically a mass leader. He's been the chief minister of Karnataka before. He enjoys the support of the cadres. On the other hand, you have a D K Shivakumar who has said that he's worked doggedly for the party, and he has so over the years, and also had said earlier that, I have sat and I have cooked the food for so long, and now that the food is ready, others want to come and eat. Are we going to see, or are we already witnessing a pitched battle within the Congress camp in Karnataka leading up to the elections? We're going to keep a keen eye on that. For now, viewers, shifting focus to the big developing story in the country, the island country of Sri Lanka.